YouTube channel Nos Confunden. Sometimes it seems as if our lives are part of a grand script, predetermined and agreed upon in advance, as if humanity's destiny had been written from the very beginning, or at least it has appeared that way since 1728 onwards. What would it be like to live on a colossal stage, illuminated by invisible spotlights, where the lights we call stars appear as a vast projection cast from a technology as immense as the one that designed this system? The filthy hands of the parasitic colonizers, custodians and Anunnaki are locked in a struggle for control over their most precious colony, humanity. This is how the dome projector operates, a gigantic structure, invisible to your eyes, enclosing everything you call the world, and which, since time immemorial, has reproduced above your head the illusion of an infinite sky. For ages it has been reinforcing the same model for the same purpose: to plunge humanity into a sense of remoteness and insignificance. Its surface is, in truth, a living screen, a flawless projection of a fictitious universe. Every star, every planet, every galaxy is merely a calculated image meant to keep you convinced that you're on a tiny speck, lost in the cosmic void. Nos confunden. But if this is a closed system created by the most twisted minds, then perhaps there's nothing truly up there, as we've been told. And what if there are other lands, more continents, more humanity out there? Your mind would open to possibilities too dangerous for the system, and control would collapse. It's no coincidence that for decades, all the world's powers have been obsessed with one remote, frozen place: Antarctica. Richard Byrd, the famous Rear Admiral and American explorer, spent months alone there, in one of the harshest regions on Earth. That experiment became known as Alone. Officially, his mission was to study the extreme conditions of survival. But there was something far deeper behind his isolation. During that time, Byrd began transmitting strange radio messages. He didn't just speak of unbearable cold storms or of ice that seemed to pulse beneath his feet. He described lights emerging from the horizon, and sounds, voices, that spoke to him even though he was entirely alone. Nos confunden. The most unsettling part is that, back at the base, the operators received transmissions from a voice that was not Byrd's, who spoke that day over the radio, in a place so remote, so far from any other human outpost. What happened that night beyond the harsh weather conditions, prompting an urgent rescue and the premature end of the mission? Although expeditions to Antarctica had already been underway for some time, after that episode, the nature of those journeys changed drastically, as did their funding. Control over Antarctica became rigid, shared among governments and agencies that, publicly, claimed to protect wildlife and the purity of the ice, but secretly carry out entirely different kinds of research. That line, both abstract and real, doesn't appear on any map. It's not a physical boundary you can see. Once you cross it, reality itself begins to fracture. Compasses spin wildly, radio waves become distorted, and sometimes visions appear and breaches open through which voices seep in, images, or even distorted memories, as though from an alternate reality that don't seem to belong to this time. Nos confunden. Because beyond the dome projector there lie territories, civilizations, and beings that are not part of the official narrative. Entire worlds that have been carefully concealed. Have you ever wondered why, with all the technology they claim to possess, we never see clear images of Antarctica's outermost regions? Why there are always blurred zones on supposed satellite maps? Why NASA maintains scientific personnel stationed in Antarctica when supposedly its mission is the outer space? It's because there, at the edge of the dome, the illusion weakens. There, fragments of the truth slip through. That's why we say the reality you live in is a simulation. Not in the purely digital sense, but as a physical, mental, and energetic construct. A script written to keep you trapped in a limited story, where danger always lurks, crisis is constant, and you believe you need protection. And the custodians stand ready to provide that protection, like a cycle where everything repeats, like the famous Ouroboros. If they designed both what you see in the sky above your head and manipulate the thoughts within your mind, then what remains as truly real? Even when you think you're rebelling, the system has already anticipated your escape routes. You'll always feel afraid to walk paths with no signs. It will seem safer to remain within what you know, the scenery which, though sometimes suffocating, still feels familiar. It's no coincidence that we find the harshest climates and the most violent seas near the edge of the world. But the truly valuable and terrifying thing is to leap into the spiritual abyss. To cross that chasm between the reality crafted for you and the reality that exists beyond every illusion. Nos confunden. Because the emptiness you feel does not stem from poverty or loneliness. It comes from an ancestral memory still alive within you. A memory that remembers who you truly are. That memory is the source. It is your true origin, the original connection to the heavenly lands. It is what screams to awaken. That is why they keep you distracted. That is why they created a false sky. That is why they transformed Antarctica into a forbidden zone. Your life unfolds inside a vast soundstage. The cameras are invisible. The scenes seem spontaneous. But if you pay close attention, you'll begin to see the seams. Sometimes that whisper inside you, flickering like an old radio, if you listen carefully enough, starts to fade until it goes silent, and you can finally connect directly with the source. YouTube channel Nos Confunden.